What's up, guys, and welcome to yet another epic installment of For the Greater
Everything is working? Yeah, so let's get started with the questions we left off, or you guys left last week. First question comes from Ricky Cohen's. Soulstorm was an expansion, standalone from Winter Assault. It wasn't Dawn of War 3. Yeah, you're right. It was so Soulstorm was when Sisters of Battle came in. Were Tyranids ever in? I don't think so, right?
They were in, but I think it was in Dawn of War 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Next question.
LTLM says, thanks for the advice. I searched up basilisks, and they are giant snakes, basically. Good thing my army has trigons, and I'm planning on getting more. Do you guys recommend a Tyranid unit to go up against a Tau Storm Surge? And it is a pain. He needs help.
I don't know, that's you. You're the one with the tower. You're the Tau player.
The Storm Surge basically is a tank. He has a lot of heavy weapons. He fires a lot of good strength guns. And the closer you get, I think the more powerful he is. So he is really tough to get into. So I would say get a bunch of Gaunts and the one that basically makes Gaunts. Mm-hmm. And basically just push as many as you can and tie them up in close combat.
What about a Moloch? Like have two Molochs appear next to the Storm Surge, because they can't assault right away, right?
Because I think it counts as deep striking when he pops out of the ground.
Oh, okay. But then like more can come out from underneath.
Yeah, where his hole was, where he came out of, they can like crawl out of there. And
then the Storm Surge, he has to like bunker down or whatever?
Well, he could in order to make his attacks
stronger.
Either stronger or easier to hit. I don't have one, so I'm only working on what I remember.
Okay, so that's our advice.
Yeah, get a bunch of Molochs and Gaunts.
Gaunts. Yeah. Matthew DeLeon, I personally think that the warp itself is not entirely good or evil. Right, the warp is just like a water. It could flow or it could crash. If you put the warp into a cup, it becomes the cup. I already messed it up.
It's like the Force.
It's like the Force.
The dark side and the light side can both use it.
But yes, I agree.
Yeah. Angus?
Yep.
He just says, thanks for answering the question.
You're welcome. Samuel JK, great vid, lads. Thanks. Lads.
Explosive bull. I think that's how you say it. Have you ever done a video about the Emperor or the Adeptus Custodes or Adeptus Sororitas? Something like that.
No, we haven't. Not yet.
Not yet, but it's in the works.
Slice of pie. Oh, I'm sorry. I really only intended to ask one question when I started. Okay. You syndicate of minds that are singular. Oh, I have a question. If the Emperor on the Golden Throne is the only thing allowing the warp travel, how did ships navigate the warp prior to him being on it? So before that, it was the Age of Strife, and it was very difficult for anything to get past the warp. A lot of ships were destroyed. Mankind was just in a turmoil, and before that. I think a bubble just came out while I was talking. That's weird. So before that was really weird. Before that, it was okay. So what happened was Slaanesh was born because of the Eldar. The Slaanesh consumed everything within a huge circumference, and then the warp was just chaotic. But like water, the warp calmed down and it just simmered down, and that's when the Dark Age of Technology was I'm sorry. That's when the Great Crusade began, and the Emperor was able to travel because the warp was calmer. And then before that, the Dark Age of Technology was before Slaanesh. So really Slaanesh messed up the warp. Now the warp is messed up just because. Yeah. So there's more questions.
Another one too, yeah.
Okay, so Legion's gene seed carries flaws related to their Primarchs.
Salamanders having black skin, Blood Angels having red thirst, etc.
Yeah, if that's so, how did the Blood Angels end up with the Black Rage as their gene stock was normalized prior to the heresy? It was post-heresy. The Black Rage came from the anger and anguish of seeing the Primarch Sanguinius die. and when he fought the demon too. It's conflicting. If you read the lore, they say that the Black Rage, is it Black Rage? Yeah, Black Rage happened when he fought the demon and he fell, and also when Sanguinius was killed. So there's two conflicting things. And then before that, the what is it called? The Red Thirst. The Red Thirst was hidden. So like if it was normalized, it didn't fix the problem, and Sanguinius didn't want to tell anybody, not even Horus.
He felt that would bring dishonor and taint to himself and this chapter.
Yeah, and then Horus found out, and then you'll read about it you'll hear about it in the.
We kind of touched a little bit on it in Sanguinius' lore.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Why didn't the Emperor help Angron at the final battle of the Eaters of Cities? Because he's a bitch? I don't know.
He was just basically watching what he would do. And at the very last moment, that's when he was like, all right, I can't let my guy die.
He stepped in. And I think that's a demonstration of how the Emperor, even though he is like the protector of mankind, he looks down upon people who aren't Terran-born, I guess, who aren't from.
That's technically his son, though.
No, but
you're saying about like his army?
Yeah, his army. They're like, oh, they're just whatever. And at the same time, who knows? Maybe the Great Crusade needed Angron, and he's like, no, you can't meddle in the worries of one planet. You need to save the entire solar system. But I haven't read any specific lore around that. The next question is, if Abaddon is such a badass motherfucker and has the ear of all the Chaos Legions, why won't any of the fallen Primarchs have anything to do with him? Honestly, I think that's Games Workshop. They don't want to put out, because there is Primarch greater demons out there, but they don't want to put them out, so I think that's their fault. What do you think?
I agree. It's just, he's got like all the power. He's like basically a second Horus, which technically lore-wise would kind of make sense as to Primarchs following him since they followed Horus before. But again, it's GW.
Yeah, GW. Yep. And then remember, Chaos is like tainted with jealousy, rage, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why would they follow? They're Primarchs.
Exactly.
If the fallen Primarchs don't really involve themselves in anything, what happens? And there's little dots.
That's all I got too.
Wait, if the fallen Primarchs don't really involve themselves in anything, what happens? I don't understand the last question. Sorry.
I think you wrote more and it just got cut off.
Maybe.
So maybe right in the next Waagh.
Yeah, your turn.
Lennox Saint Hilaire. To One Mind Syndicate, I have a theory for you guys. Let's say that the Emperor died. Do you think his death would make a new Eye of Terror? Well, that's the first part of the question.
We answered that a while back. Yeah, no, it wouldn't. And then the reason why, just to give you a little bit more background, even though there would be tons of like agony and sadness within the Imperium, the reason that the Eye of Terror was created was because Slaanesh was born, and she was born from trillions of Eldar, and all their lust and like nastiness, culminating within decades, if not centuries, of time. So for the Emperor was entombed 10,000 years ago. There's way less humans than there were Eldar back when the Eldar were in their heyday. So it's just no, it wouldn't happen.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Oh, did he have part 2?
Well, he was just explaining because of the deaths of the Eldar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Noah Campbell, if Darth Vader fought Abaddon, wouldn't his arms just fall off? Who, Darth Vader? Failed the dawn.
Oh, he's talking about Abaddon. Abaddon's arms falling off.
Why would his arms fall off?
Because this is what I'm thinking. Because I used to have the metal Abaddon, and his arms were a pain to glue.
Okay.
Yeah, they never stayed. I used green stuff, super glue, nothing worked.
He welded it on.
Yeah, I tried.
Next one.
LTLM. Who would win in a huge battle and how would it play out? It would be Orcs, Ghazghkull's army, Tyranids, Hive Fleet Leviathan, the Chaos Space Marines, the Black Legion, and Farsight from the Tau, his army.
I think Farsight and the Tau army would be the smarter one, and they would like just let them fight. and then the Orcs and the Tyranids will go at it just because that's what's gonna happen. And then it would really come down to Tau versus Chaos, because I feel like those two would use the Orcs and the Tyranids to their advantage.
And then I feel, even though Tau is, I like them a lot, I feel like Chaos has the upper hand because they have the warp and psychic and all that. And although Farsight does have the talisman of Arthas Moloch, which kind of negates demonic presence, so that'd be a good fight.
But it'll come down to Chaos and Tau.
Probably.
So what happened to Uriel Ventress after Selena's? I actually researched this for you because I don't read those novels. So Uriel went back to, I think, Calth, and then he became a captain or commander again. He went back into the Ultramarines, and then he set sail for another land. Damn, I remembered everything yesterday and I forgot. But yeah, he became a captain again.
Funny Monk says, I'm confused. I thought this was a Necrons versus Chaos continued in that video about it about the Emperor off the Golden Throne. If I had no interest in watching a Q&A session on you guys, I don't mean to come off as rude. I just prefer your straight up 40k videos as opposed to a video like this. And why post such a misleading title? Even if either of those things are in the video somewhere, it would be nice to know before watching this.
Read the description.
Yeah, that helps.
Next question. Lennox St. Hilaire. To One Mind Syndicates.
I already did that.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the best Space Marine Legion? I personally think it's the Ultra Space Marines. So Ultramarines?
Yeah, Ultramarine.
Damn.
This is controversial.
Yeah, it's tough. It really depends. I think for mankind, for humanity, the best Legion is the Salamanders because they fight for humans.
At the same time, the Space Wolves also fight for humans.
Yeah, but yeah. So between like one of those Space Wolves, Salamanders. I personally like the Imperial Fist, but I also like the the Iron Hands. What's your favorite?
Grey Knights, if they count as Space Marine chapter, because technically they are the best of the best. They got the Emperor's gene seed in them, so.
But they're shady. They work with the Inquisition.
Oh, the Inquisition's the shady ones.
Nadav Bank says, it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
So I got the Dark Vengeance starter set, and once I learn the rules, what army do you think I should get? I like Space Marines and I like Tau. I also like Imperial Guards, and I have a friend who plays Imperial Guard. I mean, I kind of like all the armies. Is this new? And also, I wasn't talking about. Oh, we'll answer that. Well, I'll read that later. So since you have Dark Vengeance, you have Chaos and Dark Angels. If you want to be, I think you'll have more fun with Dark Angels just because Chaos is tough, man. They're not the best.
Their codex is pretty old, so it's outdated and you probably won't win as much.
Well, I mean, yeah, the corn you have to get the corn demon kin thing, and I don't know. If you really like painting spiky bits and whatnot, then yeah, go with the Chaos. But Dark, I mean, you already started with what are they called? Dark Angels.
Dark Angels.
So keep going with the Dark Angels.
I wouldn't go with Imperial Guard since your friend has it, and it'd be too much.
Yeah, it'll be boring. It'll be like Imperial Guard going up against Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
If you want to win all the time, you can get Tau. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you could always sell if you really don't want it. You can always sell Dark Vengeance and try to get something else. But I mean, you already have the stuff. Why not?
Yeah, and like honestly, if you're starting out Warhammer, every Warhammer player has started out with Space Marines. So just keep going with your Dark Angels, and if you find that you want to go to another place, they have the really nice starter sets. What are they, $85? And then you get like an HQ and whatnot. So,
HQ troops and like another unit.
Yeah, so take advantage of that. Take advantage of Dark Vengeance.
That's right.
Next one? Oh wait, no, there's part 2, right?
Yeah.
And also, I wasn't talking about standard 5th century knights. I'm talking about Northmen from Chaos Armor that merges with the guy's skin. Oh, this is in terms of the models, the fantasy models. I'll check them out. Next question.
Killer Weasel. Although this isn't really a question, he'd love to see lore on Trazian the Infinite, due to all his fantastical shenanigans and the fact that he tries to steal everybody's stuff. Considering he's apparently got a Primarch locked away in some high-tech Necron museum somewhere. He seems like he'd be fun to talk about. He
would be, and I remember writing about him. I just don't remember where. But you will hear from him. I don't remember where.
I'll personally do a lore.
A lore?
Yeah. He seems interesting.
And that's all the time we have right now. We're probably gonna do a part 2 to this, and we'll do a Q&A for part 2. But for right now, thank you guys so much for these comments. You can comment down below, and we can answer them next week. This was Gersh1,
Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate,
signing out.
and we're out.